And we continue with the wonderful O by James Thurber. Black and Little Jack, and Strag and Strug, and all their men scattered through the castle like a band of mad baboons, and their shouting and their clamor shook the shields upon the walls. "Find the jewels or the map," cried Black and Little Jack. "Find the jewels or the map," shouted Strag and Strug and all their men. And they used their axes and their cudgels on every lock and every door, breaking into cupboards, cracking open closets, prying off lids of boxes, smashing clocks with spades. The hours went on and the clangor rose. Everything that had an O was opened, ransacked, and pulled apart. Sofas and couches and ottomans, things made of onyx and ormolu, ivory and ebony, gold and chalcedony, crocks and bowls, pillows and cushions and footstools, and even flagons and goblets. The men drank wine from bottles, white and red and rosé, and then they smashed the bottles. Boards were taken up and marble floors, but no jewels came to light or any map, no glow or gleam or glitter, no sight of parchment. The moon went down, the sun began to climb the heavens. The clamor and the clangor ceased. Everything that could be broken had been broken. Glass and splinters, bits and fragments lay upon the floors, or where the floors had been. Then the wide-eyed Black raised his clenched gloves toward the sky, and in that moment saw the map. It hung upon a wall, the only one left standing. "I have not seen this wall before," cried Black. "It was not here a moment since," cried Little Jack. "I'd lay on that." They took the map down from the wall and spread it on a plank and bent above it, and in the end they deciphered all its marks and crosses. "The treasure lies 5,000 feet from where this skull is grinning," shouted Black. "We come first to a stricken oak and count off 50 paces. Northeast," cried Little Jack. "The jewels are ours," Black gloated. "We're princes." "Kings," bawled Little Jack. And Strag and Strug and all the men echoed, "Kings!" But there was no echo to their echo, for all the walls were gone. They saw before them now a dark and gloomy forest, stretching on and on and on and farther. "Spades," commanded Black, "and follow me." Then each man seized his spade and followed Black and Little Jack and Strag and Strug into the dark and gloomy forest. "How goes the day?" cried Black. "It lacks 2 hours of noon," said Little Jack. "I hate the sound of noon," said Black. "I know not why." Perhaps because it has 2 O's, said Strag. "Perhaps because the day grows hot," said Strug. "And treasure should be dug up at night," said Little Jack. "Silence!" thundered Black, "and follow me. The weather here is strange. I hate this weather." "Why is it so hard," asked Little Jack, "to stay together?" And even as he spoke, he found himself alone. He called and got no answer. "This way," cried Black, "and all men follow me. I feel the jewels burning in my hands. I have the map and a compass. Find the stricken oak." His voice ended in a gurgle and a croak, and then his eyes grew wide with fear. His fingers trembled, for he stood all alone, like all the others, and going underfoot was slow and oozy, for burrowing moles had devoured the roots and softened the soil. "There are no outlets and no openings," cried Black. "It's soggy and it's boggy." A million moths hovered above his shoulders, and countless chameleons changed color on gloomy growths. Glowworms glowed around and about, and Black could not make out where he was going. Then came the butterflies. "Butterflies do not have O's," cried Black, but he was wrong. The monarchs and the morning cloaks and the clouded yellows and all their colleagues and their fellows made up the throng. The sun went out, and it seemed night again. "What is this woeful wood?" whimpered Black, and no one answered. "What is this woeful wood?" croaked Little Jack, lost and all alone in another part of the forest. The dark was deep as midnight all around. "Whence comes this humming and this buzzing?" wailed Little Jack, and then he saw the source of the ominous sounds. Locusts and hornets and dragonflies, yellow jackets and honeybees. They came in clouds and hosts and squadrons. "Black never thought of little things," mourned Little Jack, when he was issuing edicts. He groped his way slowly into an outlandish grove. But there, His way was clogged by a growth of toadstools and mushrooms and monkshood and bloodroot, foxglove, wolfsbane, and aconite, orchids and opium poppies and the roots of mandragora. Spanish moss drooped from the Spanish bayonets. Spanish moss drooped down and Spanish bayonets shot up. "What are these woeful warts?" muttered little Jack, now up to his ankles and his knees in warts. Bloodwort, dragonwort, goutwort, hogwort, holewort, hoodwort, lousewort, moonwort, moorwort, scorpionwort, throatwort, toothwort, and woundwort. "What woeful wood is this?" squealed Hyde, lost and all alone in another part of the forest. Odd lights blinded him with their glow and glare and glitter. St. Elmo's fire and foxfire and will-o'-the-wisp and phosphorus and the aurora borealis. "These are the lights of night and not of day," moaned Hyde, "and yet I thought I saw the dawn a few hours since." He stared up at the sky, seeking the sun, and the cold of Canopus stared down at him. The Southern Cross seemed to point its stars at him like fingers. Comets and meteors flared like flaming arrows, and Virgo blazed, Capricorn and Scorpio, the major dog star and the minor, and so many others. Hyde lost count of stars and constellations. Then the lights went out, and darkness reigned once more, and in the darkness came a show of fireworks. Rockets dropping colorful balloons, Roman candles, flower pots, and golden showers and silver fountains. And now there were owls and crows, loons and woodcocks, herons and flamingos, cormorants and condors, and one albatross with an arrow from a crossbow in its feathers, swooping and stooping about his head like bombers. He stumbled on, plagued by a scourge of mosquitoes, microbes, and microorganisms, through sycamore and hemlock, cottonwood and hickory, black and honey locust, oak and giant redwood, and underfoot frogs and toads, inwode, hindered and hampered and harassed his going. "Incompetent, irrelevant, and immaterial," he muttered, and all the other lawyer talk that lawyers talk in triplicate. Suddenly, a swoop of swans attacked him. "Objection!" Hyde implored. "Swans have no O's." Then he recalled the cob and cos, or male and female swan. "Confusion on creatures without an O that have an O in their alias," shouted Hyde, and even as he spoke, a lynx was snarling at his feet. "The bobcat!" whimpered Hyde. A puma showed its gleaming fangs. "The mountain lion!" quavered Hyde. "But here's a camel I can ride." "I am a dromedary," the camel said, or seemed to say, and then it closed one eye and opened it and went away. "Imponderable, impalatable, and improbable," shouted Hyde. A nightingale beat its wings before his eyes. "Je suis Las Rossignol," it sang. "Impossible," raved Hyde. "Irrelevant and unfair." 3 bears transpired in legal lingo, which means they happened, took place, and occurred. "Les in French," Hyde screamed. "Moreover, furthermore in 2, the cinnamon, the polar, and the brown." He took 4 wobbly hops and toppled and fell down. And we'll pause there.